All right, so my phone might die. I only got 6% battery life, but I just had to point this out. This is about 1.5 acres of pumpkins that we grow and sell. And we kind of screwed up and planted them a little bit early this year, and they grew way better and way faster than what we thought. So we're left with a lot of orange pumpkins here at the end of August. So they're a couple weeks early, and these deer are just annihilating them. You can see, I mean, there's a lot of nice pumpkins in here, and I don't know how many are going to be left, you know, a couple weeks from now. They might end up getting a lot of these. And it's crazy. It almost looks like someone scooped out all the seeds. They ate all the seeds and all the guts in the middle. And some of these, yeah, what I've noticed is they're kind of keying in on these green ones right now because they're softer. But I would imagine they're going to start eating all these orange ones, which is not what we want. We didn't plant these for the deer. Look at this one, completely just a giant bowl. And you can see all the tracks in here. I mean, there's unbelievable amount of deer sign in here. They weren't really walking around in here until the vines started dying out. And now they're in here heavy. This is from turkeys dusting right here. I just spooked a hen out of here. I've never experienced deer pressure on the pumpkins this bad. We're gonna lose a lot of them because, like I said, we haven't even started picking them up yet. Look at how nice this one was. This one's completely gone almost. I mean, and then there's not really any soybean fields nearby, but right now, this time of the year, the soybeans are starting to dry up anyway. So, I mean, maybe you got to consider planting pumpkins because, I mean, for food plots on certain areas, maybe, I don't know. Because these things, you know, as long as the deer don't eat them, they'll keep all the way until around middle of November, they'll start going flat. That's crazy. So we got to definitely plant our pumpkins out here. I mean, these should have been planted like 2 to 3 weeks, at least 2 weeks later. You see some of those greener ones, that's a later variety. And up here, this is all the fastest growing variety. You can see a difference. These vines up here are completely dead. So we planted May 18th, so I guess we should have planted June 1st. Look at all the deer tracks. So I don't know how many we're gonna be left with, but I'm sure we'll get some out of here. I ain't gonna eat all these up, but they're gonna screw up a heck of a lot of them. So yeah, it is what it is, I guess. But anyways, I'll do another update of this in a couple weeks when we start picking them up. We'll see how many are gone. They're even down here eating the squash too. This is the first one of these I've seen eaten, butternut. Last year we planted a couple of these thicker hull white pumpkins. They ate on a couple of these last year. Yeah, look at right here. They take 1 or 2 bites and then they're done because they realize it's just that much harder to bite into these ones. So I don't even know if people are going to want to buy these now. This really sucks. Look how tall these plants were when all the leaves were up. This is waist high. This field looked absolutely beautiful middle of the summer. Yeah, I'll do an update when we start picking them up a couple weeks from now, but it kind of sucks. But well, I'm out here. It's September 4th, getting another load. We got a couple loads this past weekend. I'd say the deer damage hasn't really been noticeably more in the last week and a half. Last weekend, I should mention, I came out here. I spread 3 bags of Milorganite. That worked pretty good on some of my smaller soybean plots earlier this spring. Keeping the deer away for a couple days to a week is about what it lasts. And I have a cell cam down in this corner. Like I said, we got like an alfalfa strip along the ditch here. And ever since I spread that stuff, noticeably less pictures, but still a couple deer here and there, middle of the night. But it was like every evening they were out here in daylight. Does, fawns, and a couple small bucks. But yeah, the damage has already been done. We've already lost quite a few. I would imagine we're going to get most of these picked up probably in the next, probably the majority of these picked up in the next 2 weeks. So we'll be out here quite a bit, and that'll, you know, keep the deer away too, us being out here more. You can see right behind me here, a lot of these, some of these ones are rotten, but a lot of these, like there's some that are completely gone like this from weeks ago. I don't know how long ago this is from, but just look, these are like perfectly fine pumpkins. They're not rotting. If the deer wouldn't have taken a bite out of them, they would have been good pumpkins. We got one here, one here, one there, 3 right there. It just sucks. And you get up into here, and some of these are kind of going flat already. This is probably a good one. That's a good one, but it almost seems like the deer, they know which ones are gonna rot, or they're not gonna eat a rotten pumpkin, obviously. But yeah, there is a heck of a lot of damage. This actually looks pretty fresh right here. That might be from a couple days to a week. I'm not seeing anything super fresh, although I haven't really walked around too much yet. That's pretty fresh looking. Maybe a couple days, I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably have one more update. We'll see if they show back up. I have 3 more bags that I'm gonna probably spread this weekend, this upcoming weekend. So a couple days from now. Well, we're on the final load right here. Huh? Doing a little video here. We are on the final load of pumpkins. They're still out here eating on a couple of them here and there. You can see all the fresh deer tracks. Pumpkins all ripped up. Overall, we got a pretty good amount out of here. I thought they were going to do more damage. It seemed like as soon as we started picking them up, and I spread 3 bags of Milorganite, and then the next week I spread 3 more bags. They'd done some damage since we started picking up, but
out here, that's why they quit coming. Over there.
And you can see all these fresh tracks. It rained a couple days ago. But overall, we got a pretty good crop out of here, but there is a lot of them here and there that, like this one we could probably pick, that have just a couple bites taken out of them. Like that one is deeper where it started to rot. And these pumpkins, they'll stay solid until we get a couple pretty hard frosts, like into probably late October for sure. Maybe like early to mid-November, they'll be pretty much getting pretty flat after a couple hard freezes. So these pumpkins we're leaving out here, I'm sure the deer are going to clean them up pretty good, but they're not really an amazing attraction, I would say. It does help that we have this alfalfa strip nearby attracting these deer to this area, so, but I'm sure they'd be eating on them even if the alfalfa wasn't here. And like I said earlier, I have noticed more deer eating the green pumpkins. This one's just hidden right here, I guess. Anyways, I just thought this would be a little interesting video here to just see how much they're really eating on these pumpkins.